When the palace catches fire, do the flames stop at the gates or do they consume the throne itself? That is the question shaking Nepal, where a youth-led uprising has forced Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli to resign after days of deadly anti-corruption protests. Parliament has been set ablaze, the homes of powerful politicians ransacked, and more than 19 people killed as security forces opened fire on demonstrators. But here's the twist. This is not just Nepal's crisis. It is a warning siren for countries like Kenya, where a restless generation is asking the same question about corruption, inequality, and power. On Monday, what began as a peaceful march in Kathmandu spiraled into one of Nepal's bloodiest protests in decades. Youth demonstrators, many calling themselves the Gen Z movement, rallied against corruption, nepotism, and economic despair. Security forces responded with live bullets, rubber rounds, and tear gas. The result? 19 protesters dead, hundreds injured, and the streets of Nepal's capital engulfed in chaos. By Tuesday morning, the political fallout was unavoidable. Home Minister Maisha resigned first, saying he could not justify the killings. Hours later, Prime Minister Oli himself stepped down, claiming he wanted to pave way for a constitutional solution, but in truth, his government had lost legitimacy overnight. The symbolism is power. Protesters stormed the parliament building, setting fires that sent plumes of smoke into the Kathmandu sky. They attacked the homes of powerful leaders, including Oli's residence and that of former Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Deuba. Party offices were vandalized. This wasn't just anger at corruption. It was rage at a system perceived to protect the elite while ordinary Nepalis survive on a per capita income of less than 300 shillings a day. What sparked it all? Ironically, a ban on social media, a move that backfired spectacularly, pushed young Nepalis to organize faster and hit the streets harder. The government reversed the ban, but by then, the fire had already spread. This is what makes the story globally significant. The protesters are overwhelmingly young. Many are students, graduates, and unemployed youth who feel locked out of opportunity. They see the children of politicians, the so-called Nepo kids, enjoying privilege while they scrap by. Does that sound familiar? It should. In Kenya, the Gen Z protests against the finance bill this year revealed the same frustration. A generation that refuses to be silenced, digital savvy, organized without traditional leaders, and unafraid to take on the state. For Nepal, The resignations are not enough. The youth movement is demanding the dissolution of parliament and fresh elections. They no longer trust the political establishment to reform itself. That is the ultimate crisis. When people believe the system is too broken to be fixed, they stop negotiating and start revolting. This mirrors a global pattern, from Sri Lanka to Nigeria, from Chile to Kenya. Youth-led uprisings are rewriting the rules of protests. They are not waiting for political parties or union bosses. They are self-organizing, leaderless, and impossible to bribe or co-opt. So what can Kenyan leaders learn from the Himalayan firestorm? 1. Suppressing dissent only fuels rage. In Nepal, live bullets turned a protest into a revolution. In Kenya, police violence during the Gen Z protests only made the movement stronger. 2. Corruption is political suicide. Nepali youths rose because they saw their leaders' families thriving while they struggled. In Kenya, stories of political dynasties flaunting wealth have the same effect. 3. Symbols matter. When protesters set fire to Nepal's parliament, they were torching more than bricks and mortar. They were sending a message: the old order is collapsing. Kenyan leaders should take note. State House, Parliament, county offices, these are not untouchable. 4. Cosmetic changes won't cut it. Resignations in Nepal have not calmed the storm. Likewise, in Kenya, dismissing one minister or even all of them or reshuffling a cabinet won't restore trust. Youth demand structural change. You can cage the singer, but not the song. The fire in Nepal is not about one man resigning. It's about a generation rewriting the social contract. Kenya has already tested this energy. The question now is, will leaders listen? Newsroom, Maisha TV, Bushabi Jr.